okay, guys, that I built here. Built a few of them all at the same time. When you're buying bulk and a lot of these things, it's easy to put together multiple kits. Great little thing to throw in the trunks of cars, and obviously gifts to girlfriends and people you care about, family and friends that obviously aren't quite as prepared in mind as some of us are. This little guy, I'll start with first, was just the craziest cheap buy I've ever gotten, and it's lasted longer than I thought it would. It was at Target for $9, and it has just a little bit of everything. It has examination gloves. It has a little bit of little baby poncho in there. It has the first aid regular kit. I've added some of the other items that we've talked about in my other one. It has the old school emergency blanket because they're cheap and everyone has those right now. It does have a giant help sign that I've added some other things, that the blue little dog feces bag in there. I've added a Sharpie. I'll just leave this out for now. I've added a my old mag light LED with some duct tape on it. It does have a face mask in it. I've got a little foil hiding behind there. It has a barrage of Band-Aids. I mean, really, for $9, I was pretty surprised. And it's just considered a first aid kit, but it did have the emergency blanket and the poncho, and it's got this great little whistle that's in here as well. It came with a glow stick. It has enormous gauze pads, smaller sutures, small, medium, and large to everything. Really just a great kit. I haven't really had an opportunity to use it for anything because I don't keep it anywhere specific, but for the deal I couldn't pass it up. As a lot of you guys know on the forum, I'm sure you're the same way. I'm kind of the what if guy. What if you need it, then you're gonna have it. The other thing I'd like to kind of add on here is make these kits your own. Obviously with this guy we discussed how it was able to hold way more stuff than it was designed and what you bought. There are going to be things that you want to have in there that a lot of these kits provide extra room for. And one of the things that wasn't in here that I mentioned a while back on the forums is I don't have any children, but I have friends with children, and one of the things I keep in all my little first aid kits are, and I'll even open this guy up, is this little waterproof Band-Aid, and it's designed for kids. And this one happens to be a little Nemo. I've got some Spider-Man, I've got a few others, and they are waterproof, they're great, and they're kind of like having a little tattoo. And there's nothing that quells the screaming and the blubbering and the crying of kids than having a sweet Nemo tattoo. And I have added these, and they're waterproof, of course, because kids get into everything. But I've added these to just about every kit that I have. And it's just one of those things when you're putting your kits together, you got to remember this isn't probably going to be for you. Don't expect a disposable staple gun and some gauze and throwing some stuff at a little kid isn't going to freak him out any more than he already is. And sometimes he freaks out more than it's even worth it. So a little extra, sweet Spider-Man tattoo goes a long way for kids. This was just a deal I couldn't pass up. I thought I'd bring up, but I haven't figured out where I'm keeping it. This guy here I've had for years. You can see the battle scars. It's quite dirty. It also sits under the seat of my truck. It is actually just about loaded to the gills with extra crap as well. I bought this years ago, and it was one of the best investments I've made, really. It has been used and refilled and used and refilled over and over and over again. Some of the items that weren't supposed to be in there. Obviously, I've got this little guy that luckily I have not been able to use. It is made for obviously boating activities and survivals when lost at sea, but it would come in handy anywhere a rescue is trying to get there. And these are also the original batteries I think I put in here 10 years ago or something. One of the things I did was I do have a canine, a dog, and bought a first aid kit for him, and it was surprising some of the products that they put in the canine first aid kits. One of them was, this kit originally came with a tiny little bottle of iodine. Well, I've replaced it with one that came in the canine kit, and it's an enormous bottle of iodine. Iodine is just extremely useful in so many things. Some of the kits I've seen don't include this sort of plunger for cleaning wounds. Obviously, you're going to have to create a solution, somewhere along the line of the color of a good strong tea, out of clean water and the iodine solution, and you need to flush wounds over and over and over. And then when you think you're almost done, flush them some more. It's just extremely invaluable tool to have. There are some, of course, shears for removing clothing and burnt items if that were the case. I do have typical tweezers and some straight razors. I've got gobs of moleskin. Larger band-aids are hiding back there. I'm not going to go over all the silly band-aids. There is a first aid manual that came in this. Everything's pretty basic in it. One of the things I've included in here that hasn't been is nowadays, due to all the things you can catch, you can mean the best intentions to save somebody's life. But really in the end, if you end up harming yourself more than you harm them or help them, you won't do yourself any good. Face shields. If you're not current on current CPR techniques, everyone does them. A lot of places do them for free or pay a few bucks and to a local college and take the current course. A lot of things have changed just in the last couple of years due to portable defibrillators. And because of that, a lot of the actual techniques and timings and rules of thumb to CPR have changed. It's one of those things. I'm not authorized to give a test or anything, so I won't really go into super detail over some of the new rules. But one of the things a lot of the kits don't include, unless you have a brand new kit or a really super expensive one, and this thing doesn't take up any room, but it's a face shield. It's medical grade gloves in case there's a lot of blood involved. I never want to be in a situation where I don't want to help the guy due to the fact that what am I going to catch from helping him. And the other thing I added in there is just straight regular aspirin, and that is for heart attacks and strokes and things like that nature, because that is kind of a first response for those guys. And that doesn't take any room. Didn't originally come in the kit. You kind of have to adapt. I do keep a couple hand warmers.